Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video. I'm going to talk about some newly shown products from San Diego Comic-Con 2019. This time we have some Marvel Legends classic comic figures, and we have X-Men 3 and 2-packs. So that's what this video is going to be comprised of. They did show two 2-packs that are X-Men related, and then one 3-pack, as you can see here, of the X-Men. So some neat packs that they did show. Some of these figures I would have almost preferred them just to be in an actual wave, considering they're doing some very odd characters in their X-Men wave. It would be much cooler to have like these characters in the X-Men wave and then give us those other ones that are actually in the wave in like packs, just because I don't really care for them too much, but these look like really spot on figures. Before we go into this 3-pack though, which I think is the most interesting of the bunch, let's start off with the 2-packs. With the first one being this Deadpool 2-pack, obviously with Deadpool and Hitmonkey. Interesting idea for a 2-pack, I must say, but I think the execution of it is a little lazy. You've got two figures in it. One's a very small figure. However, because one of them's a little smaller than usual, you do get a ton of accessories to go with it, which normally is quite cool. The only issue I have with it is this pack is almost 100% just repainted stuff, to be honest. It's a lot of stuff, and it's from a lot of different figures in the past. However, it's all stuff that we already have. First of all, our Deadpool figure is just your standard suited figure, but with the Deadpool head sculpt. I do like the white suit with the red. It really makes it pop, and it's pretty neat. It also is cool to see him matching Hitmonkey in a white suit as well. However, I always consider Hitmonkey as more of a villain for Deadpool, so I would imagine maybe at some point they work together, and this is what this pack is supposed to represent. But when I think of Hitmonkey, I think of him as a Deadpool villain. But nonetheless, I think that the two of them look very cool together. As far as what you get with this pack, you get the two swords, which are, your standard Deadpool swords, come with like every Deadpool figure, obviously reused. You get 3 head sculpts. All of them are really nice. However, all of them are reused. They've all been released from previous Deadpool figures. There isn't a single Deadpool figure that's come out in the past that has included all 3 of them. However, the 3 head sculpts have been included with Deadpool figures beforehand, so nothing new again if you already have some of those figures. You do get a handgun with a pink zebra-like effect paint on it, which is pretty neat looking, very unique of course. However, the gun has obviously been reused. The guitar looks quite nice. I believe the guitar though is the same as the one that came with Spider-Punk, so although it has a much different paint sculpt to it, it does seem to be the same actual base sculpt. And then the only accessory that I'm really questioning is this center one here. I don't know what that's supposed to be. If it's really just supposed to be like a Deadpool symbol for you, or if it's supposed to almost be like a little base piece, or if it's supposed to be a shield. But the shield seems a little odd, so I'm not 100% sure what that is. However, the shield is really the only thing that I can think of that would make a little bit of sense, but it's still very weird. Then you get a couple of the kind of Uzi weapons, and then 2 handguns, obviously reused from other figures. You get a pair of headphones, reused from Peter Quill, and then you get the Deadpool head, the zombie version of the head, attached to the RC car. Both of those are reused as well. The head originally came with the She-Deadpool, or the Lady Deadpool, excuse me, and then the RC car came with the Speed Demon figure. And then the Hitmonkey figure himself, he's just a repaint too. He is way back in the dark ages of Marvel Legends when they were doing the mini Build-A-Figures. He was, I believe, the first Build-A-Figure to come out of that series. Of the 3 mini Build-A-Figures that they did, Hitmonkey was the only one that I completed, so I already had the figure. I literally have everything in the set, just obviously different paint on everything. So this set isn't super interesting for me personally. I don't think that there's too many people who are going to need this one in the collection, because if you're a big Deadpool fan, chances are you have a lot of the other Deadpool figures, and therefore there's really nothing new with this one. But if you're just getting into Marvel Legends and you don't have other Deadpool figures, I also wouldn't recommend getting this one because it's such an odd costume for Deadpool. It's not a classic Deadpool costume. So there's not a ton of people that I think this pack are going to be for. Maybe only the ones who missed out on building that Hitmonkey Build-A-Figure and that are just kind of dying to have one of those in their collection. But for the most part, I don't think this 2-pack is very special, and I think that it also is a little overpriced. You do get a lot of accessories, but they're all very small items, and obviously you get one regular figure that's just a normal size figure, and then one very small one as well. So if this pack was a little under the normal retail price, then it might be a little bit more worth it, but considering it's the standard $40, I don't think it's quite worth it. And then the next 2-pack is a really cool one, I have to say. I like this one a lot. This is an X-Men, very much classic Jim Lee style costumes, the animated show style renditions of these characters being Havok and Polaris. Both of these characters Marvel Legends have made figures of before, not too long ago, within the past 2, maybe 3 years. They've made them both. However, these are their very classic 90s look, which I think is really cool. So I do definitely like these a lot, especially the Havok. I think the Havok looks awesome. He does have the same type of design that they're going to use for the X-Man figure for the next X-Men wave, where it's that style jacket essentially, which I think looked cool. It does have a very cartoony look, which this figure specifically is meant to be like the 90s cartoon animated show look, so it totally fits him very well, and I do like the look of it. I also like the blue highlighting, especially on the inside of the collar. I think it looks really nice, and it's a good contrast to the dark blue of his suit underneath. And then as far as Polaris is concerned, she looks quite nice as well. I believe she's reusing a lot of the parts from like the Kitty Pryde figure, but the head sculpt is obviously totally new, has a really cool paint job to it with the dark green as the base, and then the lighter green that's been washed in to really accentuate a lot of the detail within the hair, which is very cool. And then they both come with your standard bubble, I don't know, repulsor kind of effect pieces that they give a lot of the comic figures, which those effect pieces work really nicely with these 2 characters, I will say. However, the accessories themselves are pretty basic. We all have a million of them. But nonetheless, really liking these 2. I think that these are awesome figures, and I definitely like to get these 2, especially Havok. I think that he's definitely really necessary for this 2-pack. And then going on to the one that I think is the most interesting, we have the 3-pack featuring very classic, very 90s, very animated show style versions of Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Cyclops, your classic characters in their most classic uniforms, essentially, which I think is quite cool. As far as Wolverine, they did do a classic Wolverine not too long ago from the Apocalypse wave. That was one that I did skip, and I've kind of regretted skipping, just because although I do have a few Wolverines in my collection, I don't have any of the classic 90s Jim Lee style Wolverine costumes, and I have a lot of those classic designs for the other X-Men characters, so having a classic one for Wolverine I think is pretty necessary. You do get 3 head sculpts with them, which is really cool. You get an unmasked head sculpt and then 2 masked head sculpts. I'm very confused as to what the masked head sculpt that's on the actual figure right now is supposed to be. It seems like it's just that the head sculpt has like a couple of rips in it. I have no idea what the significance of that is, or what if it's supposed to be something different than just like a little bit of a ripped mask. I don't know. So if you guys know, I'd love to know, because it's just such an odd like thing to include that I have no idea if it's like from some famous comic line that I'm totally not thinking of, or what the deal is, but it's just weird to see Wolverine with a couple rips on the top of his head. But nonetheless, I really like the expression on that face sculpt. I think is very cool. I think that all the expressions are really neat. The 2 masked ones have angry, sulking Wolverine expressions, and then the unmasked one has a smirk to it, which I think is neat. He does come with a mask, which you can also use if you're using the unmasked head sculpt. He comes with 2 hands with claws, which I think look great. And then as far as Jean Grey is concerned, she's in her classic costume with I do like the hand sculpts that they've given you so that you can express your power a bit, and then she has 2 head sculpts, one with her hair fully out and then one with her hair in a ponytail, both of which I think look quite nice. And then we have Cyclops looking good as well. This is mainly a redeco of the Cyclops that came out for the Warlock wave, except he does have new arms and a different jacket. So the jacket, I don't recognize the jacket. That might be a new sculpt. The arms are definitely just reused from like Multiple Man, so the arms aren't super new. He does come with 3 head sculpts though, which I think is awesome. He comes with just one of your standard Cyclops head sculpts with the goggles, the visors on, and then he comes with 2 different sets of glasses, which I think look really cool, to be honest. And since I do have that other Cyclops already, if I do get this one, I display him with the glasses. It's a good way to make him even more different than the last version, which is cool. And he does come with an interchangeable hand to kind of have him press the goggles to shoot the beam, of course. My only thing is I would have wished that he would come with a head sculpt shooting a beam. They did do another rendition of Cyclops in just the standard wave that does actually have that kind of shooting the beam head sculpt to it. Really wish that they included that here. Obviously repainted to fit this costume though. But nonetheless, I think that this is a great set. And all of these 2 packs are pretty neat. The Deadpool one's the only one that I find quite underwhelming, but overall I think that it does look cool. And then the Havok and Polaris one I think look quite nice as well. So yeah, overall these look quite cool. Not sure. I'm definitely gonna skip the Deadpool one. The Deadpool one's just not one that I 100% need. The 3-pack of these X-Men characters I would actually like. Probably gonna wait to get it on a bit of a discount, but I do like the characters here. It's a great set to match the Amazon exclusive one that just came out with Magneto, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver. So I think that those are just two really awesome X-Men 3-packs in very classic 90s attire with the heroes and the villains. So I think that's quite cool. And then the Polaris and Havok one are just a really neat set that I never kind of expected to get, but seeing it in person, or seeing it in these photos, looks really great, I must say. So let me know what you guys think of these 3 sets, and thanks so much for watching.